Got a fantastic question from someone in the chat. Jeff Berg came in and he asked a question. And I think it's a legitimate question because I've heard a lot of Lions fans talk about it, and I wanted to talk about it today. He says, thoughts on the Lions trading for Jalen Ramsey. And I'm going to say that isn't as enticing as that sounds, Jeff, that it is not a legitimate trade in my opinion. Jalen Ramsey is a stud. Jalen Ramsey is also 28 years old. Jalen Ramsey, the Rams have a potential out after 2024. But let me read something to you from Spot Track. Jalen Ramsey signed a 5-year, $100 million contract with the Los Angeles Rams, including a $25 million signing bonus, $71 million guaranteed, and an average salary of $20 million per year. In 2023, Ramsey will earn a base salary of $17 million while carrying a cap hit of $25 million and a dead cap value of $32 million. So, the Rams in no way are trading away Jalen Ramsey. In their secondary, he is the best player. At 28, he still got it. He came up huge for them last year on their Super Bowl run. He came up huge this year with his play. In my opinion, there's no way that the Detroit Lions will trade, and I don't think the Rams give him up at all. Now, here's something that I want you to pay attention to. Jalen Ramsey is 20. He'll be 29 for the 2023 NFL season. Before you know it, it'll be 2025. If he is not cut or traded before then, at 32 years old, Jalen Ramsey will be a free agent. Now, will he be prime? I doubt it. Not everybody can be Deion Sanders, playing at a high level, even over 30. Jalen Ramsey will be 32 when his contract is up with the Los Angeles Rams. He will be, somebody could pick him up, depends on his play, for probably a mid-tier deal. But for me, thoughts on the Lions trading for Jalen Ramsey, it's not going to happen. I know a lot of people, and they're screaming for Jalen because of Jeff Okudah, because of our situation at cornerback. I don't think that's going to happen. I'm going to tell you why. Well, one reason is the money, and I'm not sure that Jalen Ramsey fits the culture of what we're trying to do. Jalen Ramsey, in my opinion, I don't know the guy, obviously, but you have to start looking when it comes to Brad Holmes. You can't predict who he's going to draft, what they're going to do, but you can kind of narrow into the sort of player that he's looking for because he wants a football player, right? But we don't have anyone like Jalen Ramsey on this team. We have nobody like him, and I'm not talking about skill level. I'm talking about attitude level. We don't have that guy. We don't have fights in the middle of the field. We don't have people tackling people because they have a family beef with them. We don't have that on this team. We get the typical pushing and shoving. Jalen Ramsey doesn't belong on the Detroit Lions, and that's what I want y'all to start seeing. And this isn't to Jeff or anybody else in the chat, but when it comes to your Detroit Lions, I want you to look at the history of what your GM does. Jalen Ramsey doesn't fit. Jared Goff fit this team. When Brad Holmes made the trade for Jared Goff, he fits this team. So, as far as aside from the money and what the Rams would probably want for Jalen Ramsey, because Jalen Ramsey was traded for 2 first-round picks. I want to say they gave the Jacksonville Jaguars 2 first-round picks. And then they traded for Stafford, which is one of the reasons why they didn't have a couple first-round picks for a while. And I'll leave you with this about if you look at the Jacksonville Jaguars, they used those Jalen Ramsey picks to get better. Now they're in the playoffs. We are on year 2 of the Stafford pick, and we are getting better as well. So if you read in between the lines there, I'm saying that your team is going to be better next year, and I'm thinking playoffs. Yeah, I've seen the schedule, but it doesn't matter, bro. Because going into next year, none of these teams going to scare me at all. So that's my thought on Jalen Ramsey, is not only would the Rams be stupid to do that, the Detroit Lions would be stupid to do that from a money standpoint. But as far as the team, the character of Jalen Ramsey, I'm not talking about he's a bad person. He just doesn't fit. He does not fit, bro. We need blue-collar guys. Aiden Hutchinson is not Kayvon Thibodeau. One is Hollywood. One is Woodward. One is downtown Detroit. One is factory, blue-collar. That ain't what we do. So I want y'all to think about that as we're going into free agency in the draft.